CHOW.
Wednesday was Prince Spaghetti Day.
CHOW.
Friday was Fish Day.
CHOW.
Saturday was Traditional Steak Day.
CHOW.
Liver and onions was a basic meal there.
Breaded pork chops or pork chops and scallops.
We had beef wars where you couldn't get beef. We actually ate horse a couple times at one time.
Back then, you made a lot of stuff from scratch. They would make salad dressing from scratch. You know, you wouldn't buy bottled dressing.
It seems like forever. We did no meat on Fridays. This went on out of respect for those that were Catholic. They always went meatless on Friday, always.
Well, we had a guy at Engine 13 called Hamburger Harv, and all he ever cooked was hamburger and turkey legs. When he retired, we bought him the biggest book we could find on 1,000 ways to fix hamburger.
Saturday was always steak day. Most of ours were like utility beef. They'd get a good deal down in the market. You had to chew a little bit on them, but they were big. They'd come back with these Fred Flintstone-looking steaks. They were rib steaks with the bone in. These things would flop over your plate when you put them on your plate. They were so damn big. One time, everybody was griping about the cook, and the captain had it. He says, the next guy that gripes is cooking. And about a week or so goes by, and we're sitting there and we're eating. And it wasn't me, it was somebody else. They're like sawing on their steak. He put the steak in his mouth, he's chewing, he went, this is the toughest steak I've ever had in my life, but it's also the best steak I've ever had in my life.
There are all kinds of little cooking stories that go on. Chiguera was the cook, and they got mad at him for coming back late. Chiguera had first meal at 12, and then guys all went to bed, and at 1:30 he says, CHOW for the second meal.
Greg Best came in one time and he was supposed to be on his extra day off. The guys knew he wasn't supposed to be there, but they didn't say anything. So Greg cooked, he got the money, and he went shopping and everything, came back, cooked the lunch meal, and after they all sat down and ate and had the lunch, then the guy said, hey, you're not supposed to be working today, you're on X off. The next day, he came in on his XL or something intentionally, he collected all the money, he left to go shopping and never came back. At Engine 13, when I started, there was a captain named Gargalinski who had actually won the Betty Crocker bake-off once or twice. And he could make just about anything. You name it, he could make pie crust that would melt in your mouth. It was unbelievable. You take a bite of it and it was delicious. It would just disappear. Tried to get him to teach me how to do that, but he didn't want to give it up. But I think it had a lot to do with lard. Back then they used lard and everything. We had a guy at headquarters too that had been a baker in the Navy, and he used to bake all kinds of rolls and sweet rolls and all kinds of wonderful.
The one standout cook that I remember was Pete Bensky, and he would make everything from scratch. If he was having sweet and sour pork, most guys would go out and buy sweet and sour sauce. He would make it. Everything he made from scratch. He made egg rolls from scratch. What the chiefs and all the bosses liked about him, he made the desserts. He would make cream puffs almost every day. The worst part about working with him was being the cook's helper, because he would use every pot and pan in the engine house. And as the cook's helper, you helped him with getting the ingredients stuff, but you would wash the pots and pans and put them away. And Pete would then decide he was making something else, and he would reuse the pots and pans. You'd be washing stainless steel bowls, and he'd be going, where's the big stainless steel bowl? I need it. One of the best cooks that I ever remember on the job.
Were you ever cook?
Yeah, well, I managed to get by. I get 2 or 3 months, and then, somebody else takes over for a while. After they get tired of tasting your swill, they're ready for somebody else's.